The once in 12-year grand mega festival of the Kumbh has started today. It is said to be the largest public gathering anywhere in the world. A look at some numbers. 35 lakh people have already arrived at Prayagraj. About 1 crore are expected to visit between today and tomorrow. And a total of 40 crore visitors are projected to take a dip in the holy waters over the next 45 days. Just for some perspective here, 40 crore is nearly 25% of India's population. So, 1 in every 4 Indians is expected to visit the Sangam over the next 1.5 months. The government, centre and state combined has reportedly invested over 12,600 crore rupees in making the Maha Kumbh come alive, from tents and pontoon bridges to security apparatus and personnel. A 4,000-hectare area on the river banks where the Ganga and Yamuna meet the mythical Saraswati, the Sangam, will turn into a mini India for the next 45 days. Meanwhile, brands from FMCG giants like Parle, Dabur, ITC, Coca-Cola to insurance players like Aditya Birla, Sun Life and everything in between, a whopping 3,600 crore rupees is estimated to be the value of advertisements. Remember, these are mostly outdoor ads to garner visibility to 40 crore people who would be at Prayagraj. We have joining us today for a very special discussion, a very fascinating discussion on this festival of India, Mr. Gopal Krishna Agarwal, National Spokesperson for BJP for Economic Affairs. Good morning, Mr. Agarwal. And we also have our correspondent joining us live from the Kumbh Mela, from the Mahakumbh itself, Yash Goyal. Mr. Agarwal, I'll come to you in just a bit. Let me first bring in my colleague Yash Goyal here. Yash, good morning. I see that there are about 35 lakh people reportedly at Mahakumbh. I don't see too many people behind you right now, but I do see some banners and some ad spots being taken up. Tell us, what is the mood at Prayagraj this morning and what are you making of this once in a 12-year festival?
Well, Kartik, absolutely electrifying atmosphere here at Kumbh in Prayagraj. In fact, the hoardings you're talking about, you can see the companies have gone all out to advertise their brands over here. In fact, you can see Okaya over here. In fact, Campa has also advertised heavily over here. In fact, on the barricades too, you can see SBI. So multiple brands have placed themselves very well at the Kumbh Mela because they very well know the kind of gathering which will be witnessed during the entire Kumbh is something unheard of, because the administration is expecting around 40 to 45 crore devotees to actually pay their visits at the Kumbh Mela. In fact, the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has also talked about the economic significance of this very event. The government has spent whopping near about 7,000 crore rupees in the arrangements of this very Kumbh Mela. And in fact, as per the Chief Minister, the economic benefits which will be reaped out of this event will be somewhere around 25,000 crores during the Kumbh Mela, and the overall impact of this could get to the tunes of 2 lakh crore rupees. So, because the advertiser and the companies also know that the kind of eyeballs which are be attracted towards their brand over here will be huge. So that is why we see a lot of brands advertising over here. In fact, on this billboard, I can show you Muthoot has also put up their branding. So, Kartik, this time, it's not only a religious congregation, but also in the economic sense too. It's a very momentous moment for the Uttar Pradesh government, because the kind of money which has been invested, the government is planning to take full benefit of it, and the local economy is also perhaps something which the government is looking to be completely benefited from.
Absolutely. Yash, stay with us. Let's bring in Mr. Agarwal now. Mr. Agarwal, thank you so much for taking out this morning. It's of course a momentous day. We have the Mahakumbh, a once in a 12-year festival that goes live from today. Help us understand, to begin with, brand Kumbh in the context of brand India. What does brand Kumbh signify?
Kartik, I would like to wish everybody a happy Lodi and Makar Sankranti and enjoy the Kumbh now, which is today started.
To you too, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. It's very important that you today are discussing this important event. Its Kumbh is not only purely religious, it's a social and the economic context also has been unleashed by the current Yogi government in Uttar Pradesh and the central government under Modi ji. It had always been a conglomeration of social, religious, and economic activities. The amount of economic that will be generated is one part which is very important. In the last 2019, when earlier Kumbh was held, it was Ardh Kumbh, there the government invested around 4,000 crores and the estimated outcome of economic transactions and activity was expected is to be around to the tune of almost 1.5 lakh to 2 lakh crores. And this time, when the government itself is spending 7,000 crore, it will generate a revenue for the government to the tune of 25,000 crores. The amount of jobs that it will be creating, the amount of tourism activity it will be created, the vendors, those who will get benefited out of it is tremendous. The brand India that you, Vikram, have talked about is the global visitors who are coming to Kumbh Prayagraj. It will last not only for 145 month, 45 days, but it will last for several years, decades, that Prayagraj, Kumbh, India's brand, and India is known across the world for festivals. Earlier, the whole image was about the Kumbh that it will be unhygienic, difficult arrangements. Now, this time, Yogi government has ensured that everything is in place. Hygiene, good toilets, roads, pontoon bridges, tent cities. I was just looking into one report. The transportation business from Delhi, NCR, and other places to Prayagraj has increased more than 30-40% in the past few days. So the issue is not only about the religious importance of Kumbh, it is the economic activity it will generate, the brand it will create for India across the globe, the boost to the tourism industry, and the infrastructure that will go along with it. And
Talk
the
about the infrastructure, Mr. Agarwal, for just a bit, and also some of the numbers that you and my colleague Yash were both throwing. And of course, we've seen a lot more numbers in the papers. And 7,000 crore rupees or something is what the state government has invested. Another 5,000 crore rupees coming from the center. 12,000 crore rupees with an estimated return of about 25,000 crore rupees in revenue. Now, it seems pretty perfect mathematics that, on an investment of 12,600 crore rupees, you have 25,000 crore rupees coming as revenue. So that's 100% over and above your estimates. But what I want to understand is how much of this infrastructure and how much of these investments which have been made in making the tent city or the pontoon bridges actually be permanent infrastructure. Because at some level, as a citizen, it also pains me to know that 45 days later, all of these pontoon bridges and the tents are all going to be gone. Does it make sense for the government to invest in long-term infrastructure?
No, Vikram, Karthik, we have to understand that there is no need for permanent infrastructure in this kind of festival.
Okay.
Because this 45 crore people which we are expecting in this 1.5 month will not be going to stay there everywhere, every time. They will go back. So the issue is how economic activity it will catalyze. India is known for its cultural content, its civilizational content about culture, music, art, food, festival, dance, architecture. All this will be showcased in this 1.5 month. And then later on, the economic activity which this Kumbh will generate is important. The
Okay.
vendors who will get the earning from this, the transporters who will get earning from this, the manufacturers or the brand various companies which will brand their product and their services in this Kumbh. All 45 crore people will come and watch them. They will create a big brand, goodwill for them, and the goodwill which the country will get. All these are intangible benefits along with tangible benefits.
All
So
right.
permanent infrastructure of big bridges, roads nearby is fine, but the temporary arrangement is also important because earlier Kumbh were considered to be places where different kind of accidents would happen. It is unsafe, etc. This whole image is now this time completely demolished by the efficient arrangement that have been made, the cleanliness, and it is the we also have to understand the social impact of this Kumbh. If
Right.
25% of our population coming together of all castes and all categories and geography coming to these people from south, from northeast, from west, east, they will come, they will visit Mathura, Ayodhya, Lucknow, Kashi. All these places will also get a boost to the
Absolutely. It's
whole
going to be the
economic
entire
activity.
circuit and not just the city of Prayagraj. But talking about that massive number of 40 to 45 crore Indians, that is almost 25% of India's population. 1 in every 4 Indians are expected to visit the Kumbh. Let me bring in my colleague Yash Goyal back into the story now. Yash, 1 in every 4 Indians, and of course, those horror stories of Bollywood that we grew up with of brothers getting separated at the Kumbh Mela, that is something which is unlikely to happen this time around, because I heard you were speaking to the DIG at Prayagraj and the kind of security arrangements which are underway. Talk us through what the government, what the police personnel, how they are deployed, and what is the kind of security and the CCTV monitoring which is happening in the control rooms to make sure that the Kumbh experience remains a safe one.
Well, Kartik, first to answer the question you asked about the stories of families being separated and reuniting after years. The Kumbh Mela. This time it's unlikely to happen because we've been seeing how the police and the other security forces have established multiple towers a few meters apart, in fact, just 50 meters apart from each other. And what happens if someone gets separated, they can just go there and the announcements have been made. And in fact, since morning, we've been hearing those announcements, but the situation has been very well taken care by the authorities over here in case if somebody gets separated from their family. Talking about the security arrangements, these are perhaps the largest security arrangements and one of the most well-oiled machinery which is working on the ground right now. In fact, as you mentioned, we spoke to DIG yesterday, and he has to say that the integrated communication center which has been established, that will monitor around 2,700 CCTV cameras which have been placed here in Prayagraj, and in fact specifically in the 40-kilometer area of the Kumbh Mela. And in fact, this is a temporary district which has been created by the UP government in around 4,000 hectares of area. And these cameras are also AI enabled, so the imaging could be done if someone is lost. So very high tech this time around. Tech is being integrated in a very well sense by the government. The deployment of police is also in very large number, 40 to 50,000. Only the UP police personnel are there on ground. Apart from that, home guard, paramilitary force, all are working in tandem to make sure that this entire arrangement is very smooth. 40 to 45 crore devotees are expected to visit Kumbh Mela. This is perhaps more than the half of Europe and perhaps more than the population of many continents
Absolutely.
in the world. So this
Massive
is seen
numbers
as
there. You're right, Yash. Let me bring in Mr. Agarwal again in the interest of time. Mr. Agarwal, massive numbers, massive tech infrastructure being deployed, 2,700 CCTV cameras. I was also reading there are QR codes for people to scan and navigate their way through the large area of 4,000 hectares, which has now been developed. Talk us through the tech deployment and talk us through what are the innovations which we would be seeing for the first time at a scale of this kind anywhere in India.
I think the important question is that if a conglomeration of this size happens in a single place in a short duration of time, it is important that the risk is also properly analyzed. And that is the beauty of this Kumbh. When the Yogi Adityanath ji has declared this Kumbh as a digital Kumbh, he understands that there is a cyber threat also in looming large on this kind of conglomeration, and therefore there were horror stories earlier. So they have created all the arrangement with IIT, with CCTV, online analysis. Around 6 or 7 apps have been created to help the people understand where to go, where to find place to reside. tent city, more than 1.5 lakh tents have been created. And online monitoring of crowd. The most important factor and the risk is about the monitoring of the crowd. Rumor mongering, the cyber threat, the social media people who can create havoc with the people's life and property there. They have been all clearly taken into consideration, and IIT Kanpur is taking care of all these arrangements. They will be monitoring all these CCTV cameras that you are saying, about 2,700 cameras, the crowd management, their movement, the online threats which come on from cyber attacks, create alert for the government when our rapid action force and police personnel have been hugely deployed.
Right.
So the cyber security risk has been taken care. Importance of this Kumbh is that when the risk is high, how prepared the government is to ward off that risk, and the IIT Kanpur is completely working on the cyber angle of it. The basic enabling environment has been created by the UP government. A two
Absolutely.
point I would like to say is
Sure.
the employment generation, Kartik, is huge, tremendous work that will go from this.
Right.
Almost the UP government has prepared training of the drivers to the hotel people to the food vendors. Every individual training is being given to people to cater to the services that are required for this huge conglomeration, and that creates a skilling. India is lacking on many various skills development for the employment generation. The amount, it is estimated that it will create around 6 lakh jobs. It is mind-boggling. Anything you look into, it is the number is tremendous.
You're
The
right.
world is aghast at the way how, and nobody has organized particularly. Everybody is coming, invited anybody. Everybody is coming on his own initiative.